The former Green Beret Tim Kennedy is under fire once again, involving geopolitical issues as he's gotten involved in several other areas before. If you guys do not know who Tim Kennedy is, we'll just look at his bio here on Instagram, where it says he's an entrepreneur, a New York Times bestselling author, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, UFC fighter, Green Beret, sniper, TV host, speaker. Mostly, I'm just unapologetically American. He sounds like Ken the Barbie. But just to give some context here, he was under fire previously from the pullout in the A-word country. YouTube likes to suppress videos that talk about anything like this, so I'm being very cautious with my words. But essentially, he was with this organization called Save Our Allies that was involved with trying to get interpreters, families, things like that, that were allies of the U.S. in order to bring them back to the U.S. because we had some kind of due diligence as a non-government organization. And he believed in what they were doing was right. So, moving on, I was like, that's probably the end of it. He's still working with Save Our Allies. You know, I did a video talking about that, going through their side of the story, as they did make a documentary clearing up certain things, which I thought was appropriate. And I did appreciate that they did that. However, now it looks like the crosshairs are on Tim Kennedy once again, because he's now involving himself over in Israel and the Palestine conflict. Just to show you this, I will play this clip that he's posted on his Instagram.
Tim, tell us the latest.
And it's been heartbreaking being here. We're in Ashkelon right now, the most rocketed city in all of Israel. Over 1,000 rockets this week. Tens of thousands of refugees that are going to be coming out of there. We have American hostages, American refugees. It's just an absolute mess. But one of the scariest things is the temperament around Israel by their neighbors. We were in Beersheba yesterday talking to a police unit. They had to respond to this area and all along the east side of Gaza. They lost 1/4 of everyone that is in their department, was injured, is missing still, or was killed in the fighting. I mean, difficult is the only word to describe the emotional damage, you know, to see the pain in these people's eyes, knowing that these women, these children were so horrifically killed and tortured. It's difficult. Again, remembering the men and women that do the work. You know, Mr. Rogers said, always look to the people doing the work, doing the people that are trying to help. And the people that were here from the American government, from Department of State, they were doing really amazing stuff. Those first few days, though, it was really, really hard. There were people that were hiding in bunkers. There were people that were too scared to leave the positions that they were at after seeing the videos that were coming out. When you're fighting an insurgency, there's going to be biotraps. They're going to be hiding behind hostages. They're going to be hiding behind civilians. They're going to break. And you can still hear that drone. Yeah. We're just north of Gaza. You know, they do every single war crime that we're not allowed to do. That is what Hamas does. They are absolute pure evil. Every single inch they're going to have to fight for in the most barbaric ways possible, because those people, Hamas, those evil demons, are going to be fighting at every single corner to try to do the most evil type of warfare you can imagine. That's what the IDF is going to have to fight through to find these hostages. We are a just nation. We're a nation of laws, and we're a nation that does the most remarkable things. We climb cliffs, we storm beaches, we hear that Jews are being killed during the Holocaust. I got you, man. We're going to go and we're going to kill every single person that stands in our way until we get there and we free them. Is they have to fight inch by inch to win, and nothing else but to destroy the enemy that is trying to destroy them.
I just want to take 1 second here to say I appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you guys do like this type of content, it's recommended to you. You probably have watched a video of mine before. I would appreciate if you guys would subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and on top of that, recommend other videos like this that you probably will enjoy as well. But let's get back to the video. So obviously you can tell Tim Kennedy here is very passionate. He's getting very involved, very hands-on. And I think a lot of people do commend that effort and those actions to actually get up off your couch and move forward and do something else. But the comments below this looks like some of his following is actually going against him on this, as it looks like they see him as a one-sided character of this story, and they say this. Ollie86957 says, dude, I've always liked you, man. What about the civilians and children on the other side that being Cade and Bede and needing help right now? If you're okay with that, then you're just on or one of them too. I do not support that terrorist group Hamas at all, but they're using civilians as human shield, and Israel just bombing everybody regardless. And then Felix Run Lift says, I'm in Israel serving in the Army Reserves, and for 99% of Israeli civilians, there's no real danger. You're not saving anyone by getting people on flights. And it just continues on and on throughout his comments here. It does look like Tim Kennedy kind of doubles down on this ideology that this conflict over in Israel and Palestine is actually becoming a bigger deal than what even the average American thinks, and kind of projects in the future, I guess you could say. I'll play this clip right here.
Okay, just kind of a little thought here. As we are, staring directly into the eyes of the enemy that might be World War III, maybe we should stop talking about toxic masculinity, and instead we should make sure every young man in America is transformed into an absolute savage. I'm talking like just a badass that walks around, not looking for a fight, but man, he's just totally down for it, Yeah.
And I think a lot of us will agree that focusing on other things besides toxic masculinity would be important. However, the following and the sentiment of people in the world right now do not seem to align with Tim exactly on this, and his following kind of goes against him again on this, and some of them say this. Big Greasy Hands wrote, 10 combat deployments, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. Nothing positive to show for it. If Israel and Hamas want to fight, go for it. Not sure why America/Americans are involved. And then this last comment here says, I have no interest in fighting in a foreign war that doesn't matter. And some people essentially are saying that Tim Kennedy here is just warmongering, trying to stir up chaos, stir up interest, stir up things to get people off their couch to do something and kind of feel some emotional impact from this. And he has been criticized in the past when I talked about the pullout of 2021 as far as using that as a marketing ploy, because one of the photos that he was posing with as they were doing their job with Save Our Allies included some kind of Oakley backpack, certain things that were out there that he did have brand deals with. So people were wondering if this was just to try and get a ploy for that and get free stuff out there and try and I don't know, use this as a campaign for advertising, but also use it for his own emotional, political, whatever beliefs, his agendas or whatever else. But that now continues on again with this one, as people are saying he's warmongering and fear-mongering, and he's posted this video.
It is crazy important, probably more important now than ever, for you to be able to be a protector of your family. For you to be a protector of your family, you have to be trained, you have to be equipped. And resources that you can trust are few and far between, to tell you the truth. There's lots of people that are in this space that pretend that they know what they're doing. The reason that I started Sheepdog Response was because I believe in this idea. The mission statement is to be a preserver, a protector, and a provider of life. USCCA is an amazing company. It's one of the reasons that I'm a member of that company is because they share that value. They fight for the Second Amendment. They fight for the individual, for their right to bear arms. They fight for you if you ever, for heaven forbid, have to use a weapon in defense of yourself or your family. And it's this great feeling to know that there is somebody behind you that is going to be supporting you. That first call for me, if I had to do something to protect my family, would be to USCCA. I was trying to lighten up with this little fella, but it is a really serious topic. And my kids are running around the yard right now. You have to be prepared to do what is ever necessary to be able to protect your family. And please get trained. Please become a member of USCCA. They're amazing. I'm proud to be part of them, and I'm proud of how they fight for freedom.
And as you can see here, he is obviously turning something that he believes in as far as, self-defense and things like that do help protect Americans, obviously, and I do agree with that. But people below on his following are not in alignment with this, because it looks like not only is what he's doing in Israel, having a lot of pushback, but also with this ad. In the first comment here says this. Mardola says, this dude turns everything into an ad and y'all just let him. The next comment below that says, worst terrorist attack since 9/11, not the 200 plus babies killed in Palestine in the last 24 hours. The fact you're supporting Israel in their genocide tells me all I need to know. So my consensus of this entire thing is, on the ground, things are going to be messy. We look at World War II and all these other things as blue guys, red guys, they fought, it was bad, and whatever. But I think what we are seeing here is the misinformation, the psychological warfare that's going on of what is happening, what isn't happening, right? I do want to say here that I do commend somebody getting up off their couch, wanting to go do something, and obviously be proactive. And it's tough because you got to crack a few eggs and make an omelet. I understand that ideology as well. But, I just want to say, like, it's hard because you look at this where Tim and Save Our Allies have to be safe, right? If they're looking to save anybody else, they can't just run across, go grab these people, try and figure that, like, it would put themselves at danger. So really, they are a chip in the bucket, I would say, versus, like, they're not going to be the people saving every single person out there. And I want to say, like, a lot of people think that you have to save them all if you're going to save everybody. But, you know, I look at this, I'm like, if anybody is contributing to even save one person, I think we should have some level of backing with that. I do want to say that, like, the conflicts that are here are the ethics and morals of the advertisement space, you know, where he's been endorsed as far as ambassadors and brands and things like that, that I really look at where I'm like, it's hard to, you know, not have this message conflated with both of those things together. Sponsored by Oakley, for example. He's probably going to wear Oakley stuff. If he's sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee Company, he's probably going to drink Black Rifle Coffee Company stuff because it's right there, right? I just want to say, like, I think this is a messy, slippery slope for anybody that's in the space of what Tim Kennedy kind of does. And, you know, especially in a heat of the moment, divided conflict such as this. So, but this is where we get to the part of the video where I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think as the conversation continues down below? And if Tim wants to talk about it and come on the channel, I would appreciate that as well, because I think this is an open discussion. But as always, if you guys like what I cover here on the channel, make sure you guys hit me up over on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.